The crowded streets of Mumbai were no place for a man to dream, yet there was Ravi, lost, invisible, and resigned to a life of begging and survival. Every day, he woke up to the harshness of the world, a world that had forgotten him. His clothes were torn, his skin weathered from the relentless sun, and his heart, once full of ambition, had been broken too many times. It seemed impossible that anything could ever change. One rainy evening, as Ravi sat huddled beneath an old tarpaulin, a stranger approached him. The man, dressed simply but with an air of quiet strength, knelt beside him and offered a loaf of bread. Ravi was startled. He had seen hundreds of people pass him by, but this man stopped. But that wasn't all. With the bread, the stranger handed Ravi an old, worn Bible, its pages yellowed from time and use. "This might change your life," the man said softly before disappearing into the rain. Ravi, skeptical but curious, stared at the Bible in his hands. For days, Ravi had no intention of reading it, but something about the stranger's words echoed in his mind. One night, out of sheer desperation, he began to read. The stories in the Bible ignited a spark within him, stories of faith, redemption, and miracles that felt like they were meant for him. The more he read, the more a sense of hope crept into his heart. It wasn't much, but it was enough to keep him going. He began to pray, quietly at first, unsure if he was speaking to anyone at all, but there was a flicker of belief that refused to die. Maybe, just maybe, he thought, I could change. The next day, something strange happened. As Ravi sat in the usual spot, asking for change, a woman passing by stopped. She looked at him, then at his worn Bible, and said, "You don't belong here. You're meant for something greater." She handed him a small coin and walked away. Ravi was shaken. It felt as though the universe was speaking directly to him. That night, Ravi made a decision. He would not spend another day on the streets. But where would he go? How would he survive? His mind was filled with doubts, but the fire of hope inside him burned brighter than his fear. The first step was getting a job. He found work washing dishes at a local restaurant, earning just enough to survive. It was grueling, tiring, and the odds seemed stacked against him. But each night Ravi would open his Bible and pray, trusting that a path would appear. And it did, slowly at first. Ravi's faith and determination didn't go unnoticed. The owner of the restaurant, seeing his relentless work ethic, promoted him to a kitchen assistant. From there, his journey began to change in ways he never imagined. A few years later, he managed to open his first small restaurant, dedicated to feeding those who, like him, had no place to turn. He called it Grace Kitchens, in honor of the grace that had saved him. But the real miracle came when Ravi received a letter, an invitation to a prestigious food competition. It was a chance to showcase his talent to the world. However, the competition was fierce, and Ravi knew he had no formal training. What did he have to offer against seasoned chefs? As the competition approached, doubt crept in. Could he do it? Was he truly ready? It felt like the entire world was watching, waiting for him to fail. Yet he remembered the words from the stranger. This might change your life. With the Bible close to his heart, Ravi entered the competition with nothing but faith and a secret recipe his grandmother had passed down to him, a recipe he had never dared to cook before. The day of the competition was tense. Ravi's hands shook as he prepared the dish, pouring all of his passion and hope into every step. When the judges tasted his food, there was a long silence. Then, one of them smiled and said, "This is the food of someone who has known hardship, but never lost his soul." Ravi won the competition, and with it, the recognition that propelled him into the culinary world. His restaurants expanded rapidly, and every Sunday, Ravi made sure to feed the hungry at Grace Kitchens, free of charge. The same streets that had once been his prison were now the very place he gave back to. As his success grew, so did his faith. Ravi became known not just for his food, but for his unshakable belief in the power of faith and resilience. When asked about his extraordinary journey, he often says with a smile, "I was nobody. Now I am somebody. But that's not because of me. It's because of grace. And I will never stop believing in it."